All right, let me get some cubes and we'll start.
So the video is a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're gonna kick off. I was able to get it all on.
Okay.
And being on stage, being a speaker.
And then it's also social.
Oh my God.
Put it here. Steve says hello. Hello, hello. How's it going, man? Hi.
How are you?
Great. You?
Good.
Sorry? She is and he is. Yeah, I got the kiddos here today. All right.
Look at you.
Right? I'd have to get another device, I guess, for here, right? For anything that comes from TikTok.
Oh yeah, yeah, because you don't pay attention to this. Just where's your phone?
Could I just go to that
Just go on your TikTok and then
on the phone?
And then
Okay.
from I don't know if you go just use Real Carlos Alvarez and watch.
Can I do that from, oh, that's where I'd go in from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to be that low? Are you gonna be sitting the whole time?
No,
You'll be standing up and stuff.
I'm just wiped out from the gym, so I'm sitting for a bit. Like I'm,
Understandable.
oh yeah, show's live, so good. All right. And then any questions would come in just from here? Yeah, cool.
And then
I think my kids are gonna steal my phone at some point, but.
and then just stay on top of your YouTube videos.
Yeah, all right. Let's get rolling as other people show up. I'm somehow not 10 minutes late today, only 5. Yeah. Oh no, that's annoying.
Yeah.
No. Hey, come here, bro. Bro.
So much weight,
I
Bubba.
know.
Holy fuck, you look good, Bubba.
Oh man, it's good to see you. Damn,
Same here, Bubba.
it's really good to see you. Yeah. Wow.
Dude, you
Oh, wow, you ain't come here.
So how you been?
Good.
Okay, I saw the thing, so I said I had to join.
Oh my God.
I was going to the cruise.
I know.
I was excited.
Jump in. I gotta get started. All right. Okay, let's do this. We have guests today, which is my kids in the back, and they're welcome to come up and introduce themselves, which they're not. You want to come up here and introduce yourself? No? No? You change your mind? Today she's identifying as a K-pop demon hunter, if I understand correctly. K-pop? What is it? Who's your favorite demon hunter? Rumi? Something that went like super viral. You have not heard of it? You've not heard of K? Okay, so you've not been watching stuff online. No. It went nuts. I think it was like if I'm remembering right, started in Japan, a show, animated type show, and it's demon hunters, which are actually a girl band and they slay demons with their music, and they have special like karate. And then of course the demons are a boy band, and hence that's what everyone within a certain age range dressed as for Halloween. Like it just blew every record out. So much so that if you sold purple anything online, because they dressed in purple, if you had like a purple hairspray or anything like that, everything sold out everywhere online. You couldn't get it. People that had it, they were just like a thing of spray that would have cost like $9. They were selling it for like $80. Yeah, so really good. What happened? Another first that we're doing today, well, we attempted to do it once before to get past, is we're live streaming, which we always live stream on YouTube, but we created a separate TikTok live stream so that we're simultaneously live streaming to TikTok and YouTube. So there may be some technical stuff that come up. In the future, I'll have a different device to see, wow, people are active on TikTok. What else? We got more people on the way. Today's topic, I don't expect a huge turnout today, but today's topic I think is a really good one. Our number one, my favorite show of the year, every year, is a show called PLMA, Private Label Manufacturers Association. It's the best spot, in my opinion, to find private label product opportunities and wholesale opportunities. One-stop shop. So several of us here today went. Oh, you guys? So you guys cross paths. You know each other? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, that means you guys know each other and may not remember. You remember each other? Yes. Okay. So we're going to break down like how the show was, what takeaways, trends even that are maybe worth mentioning. Would we go back again? The catalog, and for those of you that have not attended, we're going to get into what it is, why it's a big deal. If you didn't go, how you could still make use of it. So that's the topic today. So I just call it like post PLMA breakdown. A lot of people can't just get away for a couple days and go to Chicago. It's not the cheapest of events for tickets to get in, but very reasonable, I think, and definitely worth it. So that's the topic. Today, starting, we're going to do our beginner hour. I'm going to make some little announcements in the group, like stuff going on with the group, the good and the bad, and we'll, good. Coffee just got here too. That's a lot of coffee. Oh, that's right, my kids got my phone. There's extra stuff in there. Angie, you ordered Starbucks, didn't you? You guys got something from Starbucks? Oh yeah, oh boy. Let's see. Okay. Moises, I have my normal drink in there. Oh yeah, wow, they got star strawberry. No, that's not mine. That's Angie's. Wow, you guys went ham on the card. Okay, yeah, that's me. Got a question. How do you source hot items to sell on Amazon? Great question. I think a good way to start with that would be, what is a hot item? If it's trending, on fire, and a #1 bestseller, it's not, in my opinion, a hot item. It's a hot item on Amazon, but it's not a hot item that you should probably be selling. I think a hot item should be a low competition, high profit product. And then that's just a matter of some sourcing. There's still plenty of them out there. So we found plenty of them at PLMA. Let's do some announcements. So we have sponsors coming across the bottom. I'm talking with some potential new really cool sponsors that one of them is called Pathfinder. It's a company I've been talking to for a while. They can give you a lot of, for those of you that have a third-party website like your Shopify or your WordPress or anything, and you're doing anything there, this one is going to let you There was a few tools that popped up in the past for this, but they only wanted to work with people that were like Fortune 500 companies or something. But this is going to let you know where all the traffic's coming from to your website, when they're on your website, the emails that they have just from visiting your website, and a lot of stuff like that. It's a great spy tool for e-commerce stuff. It's able to, if you link your social accounts and your website together, it'll let you know, because a lot of times you'll see something and somebody's name is like Turbo644 on TikTok, whatever. But you don't know them by that. You know them by Gary. And you don't know Gary's email. This puts it all together. It lets you know this is the same person right here, and it basically matches their social profiles. So we'll know that it's Andres, who goes by the handle of Turbo644 on TikTok, and his email is ilovesalsa@aol.com. Right. So it'll pull all that together, which is pretty powerful. Another one I'm talking to that I'll start sharing out because I want to get your guys' feedback on is something called Voc.ai. It's a great AI tool that all they specialize on is e-commerce specific stuff. I don't think you should try to get your entire e-com business running with AI. I think it'd be a huge mistake right now with the state of AI. But there's a lot of small things that you can get off your plate, like evaluating reports in a meaningful way. Voc AI can do stuff like that. But besides that, we got our current sponsors here. As always, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of what we do without them. My wife would not allow me to be doing this 12 years later, this many events. And I'm appreciative of them. So I don't expect you to jump from a software that you're using and jump over to use them. But if you see them at a trade show, if you see them online, thumbs up their stuff, share it, support them. They really do help us make a lot of this stuff happen. If we don't, we have to go from Starbucks to Bustelo. And that could be bad. My wife loves Bustelo, but yeah. That's my go-to bottom of the barrel coffee in my opinion, but my wife swears by it. Like, she would choose Bustelo over everything. Instant Bustelo too, yeah, it's instant Bustelo. Blah, microwave, and that's it. I think it makes me remember not being able to order good coffee during COVID, is what it reminds me of.
You can microwave Bustelo?
Yeah, you can do anything with Bustelo, apparently. Yeah. Yeah. What other announcements we have? The podcast I've been mentioning to you guys for a little while. I took a pause on it. I really wanted to retool it. I have retooled it. The retooling is this: I'm no longer interested. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I see something that I'm genuinely curious about, I will, but I'm no longer interested in just having a whole bunch of like the who's who on the podcast. Like the people doing the podcast circuit because they put a book out or anything like that. I want to start having you guys on the podcast. I don't care if you're in the process of starting, you just launched your first one on Amazon, whatever the case may be. We can call it an under the hood episode, and we can check back in every like 6 months to a year. Just have fun, have a conversation. I think it's going to be more enjoyable for everybody here who listens to the show. I think it's going to bring the group even closer together, and I'm super curious about learning about you guys. If you're a total beginner, some of you said you don't want to waste my time on the show. It's not a waste of my time at all. I can 100% learn stuff from you guys. And if it is very one-sided and you're getting a bunch of information from me, just, don't look a good gift horse in the mouth. Treat it as you got an hour of free consulting from me. So just, I'm going to start reaching out to you. Don't be shocked when I do. You're on my list pretty high up, so be ready.
I'm curious.
Yeah. Yeah, so don't be shy about it. The cool thing is, if you're local, it's possible we could do this in person. All of my podcasts to date have been me. If I'm solo podcasting, I open my screen and I'm recording, talking to my screen. Very awkward, by the way. Or it's a Zoom style one where you know, we're on the opposite, you know, Berto and I are in different cities and we're talking on Zoom and I record the audio and we post it. But an in-person podcast meeting, even if it's just audio, it's something I haven't done. So I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna, I think it's gonna be good. I think it'll be realer. Yeah, we may be able to do something at the Friday breakfast every now and then, but yeah, I think it's gonna be good. You do some in-persons, yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited about that.
You can call it Coffee with Carlos.
Coffee with Carlos, yeah.
On
I love it.
Friday morning. He does.
I love it. I love it. But as always, when those start launching, I really would love the feedback from you guys on what you think, how it can be better. A lot of what you guys do like about this group, or other people say, I wish I lived in Miami so I could do that, comes from your guys' feedback. It genuinely does. For those of you that have been here for a long time, like Berto's one of the member 10 in the group. I probably remembers the time when it used to just be a free-for-all when we came in here, and it was just like we came in here and whoever was in the most pain in their business that talked, or whoever was the most extrovert, extrovertive. It was like big. That's what we talked about for the whole time. So if you were on the beginning stage and it happened to be an intermediate or an advanced topic, you were just like lost. Like you didn't know what language we were speaking. And if it was reverse, it was like watching paint dry. You're like advanced, and you're like, how is this guy not getting how to package a box to FBA? And like, what did I just do with my Saturday? So like, how we turned into a beginner hour, and then topic of the week was feedback like that. Also, a really cool lesson, and then I'll stop rambling. But a really cool lesson was I sent this poll out in the beginning about what day of the week, and what time should we meet. And I bought this fancy survey tool, SurveyMonkey, to do it, and nobody responded. And then I came in and I just said, hey guys, thank you everybody for the feedback. Overwhelmingly, 7 a.m. on Saturdays seems to be what you guys wanted. And every single person cast their vote. Every single person shared why that was a bad idea. And quickly, we discovered it's 1 p.m. on Saturdays. So apparently there's a rule, there's a law, I think it's Cunningham's law or something, but it's basically if you want to get the answers to something, just say the wrong answer. Like misquote something, and you'll get all the feedback you want. What else? Discord. I let you guys know that we're switching from Telegram to Discord and that it would be messy. It's even messier than I thought it was gonna be. It's very painful in that transition. Pretty soon, I'll be shutting down, like fully shutting down the Telegrams. So the conversations there would officially die, and hopefully they start picking up on the Discord. As always, we're very limited in what we can do with Telegram, especially as far as bots or automations or the experience itself. Once you get past the learning curve on Discord is a lot better. And then there's a lot of things that we're building on the back end of Wizards of Ecom related, like we just announced Class 3 for the PL Accelerator, which I'll touch on in a second. That's 100%. The communities there are 100% on Discord. It's very easy to track someone and get them the information they want in Discord versus Telegram. What else? And a lot more automations that can be set up on Discord. I don't like it, but I also don't like Slack, but we have to use it because we broke everything else in our businesses. So, but it's messy. Bear with me. I really could use feedback from you guys on that. Anyone that wants to step up as a moderator, let me know, and I'd be happy to promote you to moderator. What will it mean? For you, to mean a lot of work. You're already a moderator, by the way. So thank you for noticing. Yeah, so just, I don't know. It'll be easy to get the conversation going there once we can, but if you've not moved over to Discord yet from Telegram, take a second to do that, because at some point Telegram's just going to disappear. All right. Well, actually, the next step is, I think in 2 weeks, all chats are going to be disabled, and then December 31st, it'll just be gone. So any old chats, anything you want, like grab them out of there. The PL Accelerator, we're on class 3. I'm very happy that it's been going so good. Berto, by the way, you're in. Thank you for joining. The next one has 1 or 2 seats left. Each time it goes up in price because we're coming in. Okay. Each time it goes up in price because we add more stuff. On this one, I think the cost of the class, it's a 6-week class. There's 2 online group sessions with me per week. There's a very active class that you're in of a maximum of 10 people. And it's not a scarcity thing to get you to buy. It stays at 10, and it stays at 10 for the next thing that you're gonna see. After the class, you join the other classes in an alumni group chat, which is free moving forward. But the class includes a free TikTok shop build, a Shopify site build, your listing for the product that you find. I show you how to source a very profitable private label product, and if you can't, based on what I showed you, by week 3, I give you an idea until you like it. So you're gonna leave with a profitable private label product idea. And what else? A branded mobile app, which we talk about a lot, to use in your main images to increase click-through rate, and a lot more. But there's 1 or 2 left. I expect by Monday it'll be gone. So if you're interested, do it. There's a totally separate Discord just for that. So let me know. And I think that's it for announcements. Yeah, questions? Oh, that's the one that I missed. Yes, so there is not a meetup next week. There was a meetup. It's gonna be Thanksgiving weekend. There was a meetup that was showing as gonna happen next Saturday, and we removed it when I caught it. But no, there is no meetup next Saturday. We don't have a great deal of meetups left this year, because remember we take 3 weeks off at the end of the year, but it's the last 2 weeks of December, and it's usually the first Saturday of January. So it doesn't leave a great deal. We're off next week. Then I think we're in December, right? Or we're the following Saturday would be December?
Yes, so we will have next December 13th,
And that's
2.
right. So we only have 2 sessions left in the year. That's insane. You're gonna don't come here. No, I'm just kidding. It's an online group. It's not a separate meetup group, but it's a separate group. We're only in the 3rd class that I've ever done this, and it's for 6 weeks. We meet twice a week online with a group, and it's usually me and Raul, or me, Raul, and somebody else from my team. We meet twice a week, usually for at least an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. They're recorded, they're transcribed and everything, just in case a person can't miss it. And there's a completely separate Discord just for that. But that's the PL Accelerator, right? What? Dimitri, I've attended the Accelerator program, highly recommend. Well, that could have went both ways, right? If he posted that, I'm just gonna send me your PayPal. No. That's Dimitri. That's Dimitri. Went with us to PLMA. Yeah, I wanted to create something because I'm going to. I pretty much have. I don't talk about the services side or any sales ever here in the group. I think a lot of you know I do have consulting and service-based stuff that I do. I love the consulting side of it, but my kids, proof, are getting older, and that's a very hard trade to make on time with them. But the thing is, I love being in that early stage trenches with somebody. I love the strategy portion of it. I love it. So doing a kind of one-to-many with a group is something I'd want to do. Creating a course that's just get this course, follow it at your own pace. I think the success rate on those sucks. And having seen the back end of a lot of those, most people don't complete them. So that's why I'd never put one out. With this accelerator, my hope is that there will be a self-paced portion, which is being built. But in the meantime, here's what we talk about this week. We talk about it live. There's questions. The questions go on through a Discord. Here's your homework by next week. So the main one is it's going to go from 0 to you have a product that you're selling. And if you can't find a product based on what I'm teaching and launch it, I give you one, which is like, if my wife gave me permission, this is from my list of stuff that I would sell right now if I was doing, which is a big list for me. Like I'm cursed by just great ideas to sell products on the PL side. So yes, that's a separate, not a separate meetup group, but it's a separate Discord, it's a separate program. I didn't, well, it's relatively new. I run them they're 6 weeks. I run them every 8 weeks. So it's only been going on for 6 months. Yeah. My goal is that's gonna be like my flagship thing that I wanna put everything that I have into. And I'd like to get to a point where I could have more than 10 people in a class. But right now, with the app builds, the Shopify builds, the TikTok shops, for everybody that gets in, I can't take more than 10. And 10 is a number that I feel I can answer everybody's question. I gotta validate everybody's product ideas that they submit. 10's pushing it for me. Yeah. What else? Oh, we got a newsletter. It's another announcement. We launched the Creator Paycheck newsletter. For those of you that are making money on the influencer side, if you go to creatorpaycheck.com, that's our weekly newsletter as of now for making money as doing UGC, content creation, Amazon influencer, YouTube, any of that stuff. That's our newsletter for that. It is spearheaded by Erica, who's Creator Paycheck. Yeah, creatorpaycheck.com. And it's spearheaded by Erica, who's on my team, who has a very strong, well, you guys have seen her. We've been talking about her for a while. She's the one that came in and basically, I hope she approves this message if she's listening, because I'm also semi-intimidated of her. But, it was basically in my mind, I was like, I need to create a failure team. Like there's some stuff happening on the TikTok side of things that have been on my list of things that I need to do, but I don't have time to go in there and move fast and like figure stuff out, and it keeps falling behind. So I hired someone and said, hey, look, I want you to just fail really fast every day. Open as many accounts as you need. Here's all the resources you need. Just move fast and break you know what. And she did. And she learns really fast. She's got I think she's gonna major in like psychology. She's got a strong psych background, so she understands, you know, hooks and what works on video and what doesn't work on video, and you know, human psychology, like all that. So she was a perfect person for it. And since being on the team, she's just excelled a lot. So it made sense for her to also be the person spearheading that particular newsletter on that side of things. We got some really cool stuff coming out on the creator side. And for those of you who haven't heard me mention this before, I wish everybody was doing private label, but private label has the highest risks involved, like that, it just does. It's also horrible for cash flow when you're starting. So if you're having like a big cash flow need, it's a hard thing. On the other side of it, if you're coming in and you just want to start and you barely have any money, it's always been arbitrage. I hate recommending arbitrage. I really, really hate recommending arbitrage to somebody. And wholesale is starting to develop a lot of its own complications. Like it's not what it used to be. So when this came up, where you could make just as much or more money with a fraction of the work doing the creator stuff like Amazon influencer program, TikTok, UGC, and all that, than you could driving around Miami, you know, loading stuff in your car for retail arbitrage, then I'm like, I'm all in on this. So like, it's really to recommend to you guys. We do a little bit of it only so that when I get up here, I'm not telling you something that I have never done. But am I turning this into a full-time job? No. But my wife and I occasionally, we record stuff and we do stuff and we put it up. People on the team are doing it. I'm there. I never, someone asked me when would this group end? Because we've been going at it for 12 years. It'll end when I decide I'm done selling physical products, because I'm not going to keep getting up here talking about selling physical products if I'm no longer selling physical products. So like that's my way of getting my hands dirty on the influencer creator stuff and being able to tell you guys about it. Highly recommend it. But the newsletter itself, you can plug into that and see what we're talking about by just signing up. It's a free newsletter, Creator Paycheck. Respond to it too and say, you want to really get a response? Put "Thank you, Erica," and spell her name with a K. Yeah, if you do that, she'll respond. Cunningham's Law. Yeah, I guarantee she'll respond. So we have another newsletter in the works, which is a Wizards of Ecom newsletter. Not community, but it'll be private label specific. It's a few weeks out. And we have another newsletter, but I'll keep that one under wraps. But I'll tell you that Moises will be spearheading it, so it'll give you a hint as to what it's going to be about for those of you that know what Moises has been focusing on. So a lot of cool stuff happening on the back end. Another of the reasons why we needed to go to Discord to pull all this together. So we're no longer doing a beginner hour, we're doing a beginner 27 minutes. What questions does everybody have? Really?
related.
Yeah.
Would you recommend putting the same keyword in a broad phrase and exact campaign? Because I've heard mixed things. I've heard use broad campaigns like a discovery campaign, and once it's profitable, negative exact it, and then put an exact campaign. But I've also heard if it's profitable, don't touch it. So what would you recommend?
So I forgot to throw a mic to you, but you're asking, would you put the same keyword in broad phrase and exact match, and you've heard conflicting stuff on it? Right.
And would the bids compete with each other?
Yeah. Okay. So the reason PPC is complicated is because there's no one answer to that. But what you said at the end, to me, trumps everything. If it's working and it's making you money, don't touch it. I don't care if everyone says that it's structured bad. I can't tell you how many times I go into a PPC campaign for a brand, and I'm like, this is the worst structure of a campaign. Everything's wrong here. There's ASIN overlap, which is what you're saying, like they're hitting, there's ASIN overlap across these campaigns, but it's making them a bunch of money. So I could make everything textbook correct, I could destroy them and set it up my own way, but I'm going to destroy the sales in the process. I leave it alone. Now, the first time that I see that it starts struggling, I don't try to like bolt on scaffolding to keep it alive. I let it naturally fall out and start trying to, I guess, recreate it in the aggregate, if that's and recreate it correctly in a way that I can control it. And that's the problem. If you have it across the board everywhere, you can't control it. There's also an added, like, if this next part didn't exist, it also would not be as complicated, and that is campaigns have seasoning to them. I know you guys used to do reselling. I don't know if you still do any reselling. Okay, so it's probably a long time since you guys have had to deal with this, but you go to get ungated for something and you can't get ungated. But it's because you're a new account, and then all of a sudden you try to get ungated again 90 days later or 6 months later because you got some history and you're ungated, but really nothing's changed. But your account has some seasoning to it, like it's been around a while, some history. Campaigns have the same thing. So you can have a PPC campaign and it's doing well, and you're like, let me just put each of these in exact, and you put them in exact and it just goes flat. And you're like, that's impossible. And it has to do with the seasoning that campaign itself had. So yeah, if none of that existed and you're asking me what I would do instead, because you have to structure something new, I would put it in an exact match, and that's it. I'd negative it in your auto, and I wouldn't, anytime something got too exact, I would not let it compete with any of my other keywords. Yeah, 100%. Oh, 1 second though, does that, yeah. Somebody throw him the mic too, if you can. You can talk, you can chunk it.
you just leave that space between. Like if I say towel and then, bath towel, do I put a comma in between the keywords or just leave it blank? Just leave the space blank. Or, you know what I'm saying? It says add keywords, so I put towel, bath towel.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to jog my memory as to how I do it, so I'm like, it's space. I space.
Space?
I just do space.
Just space.
Yeah, I don't know. I had to like. Yeah, no,
just go-
space.
Yeah,
That's a good question. I almost like phoned a friend for that. Like I almost I almost didn't know that. Like no, it's space. I do space. Yeah,
space, okay.
yeah. I almost had to say my team does that. No, that would have been bad. No, but yeah, I do space. Yeah, 100% space. Okay, we're doing PPC today. What other PPC questions you guys have? What is the budget you should have when you launch? Okay. That's a great question. It's the question everybody has. So, I mean, the answer is not going to, there is no exact answer. I will say this, all things being equal, if we're not talking about coffee, if we're not talking about baby products, specifically baby products that go in the baby's mouth, and if we're not talking about supplements, so like we just rule those out. Yeah, if you rule those out, and you're starting, I would say at a bare minimum, I would love, I feel confident that in any category, if you had a budget of 5K per month. 5K? That's a lot, right? You think it's a lot. Wait, but let me finish my statement. If you had a budget of 5K per month, I can figure out what I need to figure out kind of fast. I work with a lot of people and I'm like, I have the 5K or I have the 7,500 a month in the budget. Now we're talking about getting your initial Vine reviews, and I don't think you should try to spend that in that first month while you're getting those Vine reviews, but you do need to turn on your ads, right? I'd like you to be able to spend 1,500 in that month. And then based on that, we may not need to go to the full 5,000, but I want to just be clear on something. I hope you guys don't feel like I'm out of touch on this, but I get 5,000 is 5,000, but 5,000 doesn't go a long way with ads. So just, I know for you ad purists out there, like, just give me a little rope here, but you have three major types of ads: sponsored product, sponsored brand, and sponsored display. And within that, sponsored brand has two types: headline and video. So four ad types. You're not going to split these out equally, right? But let's just do that for this example. So that's $1,250 per month for each type. Divide by 30. Can somebody do this with me? It's what? It's 166 per day. That's not like, so I'm not saying you can't put $500 out there and start. I'm just saying the data you need to make a lot of decisions, you're just going to wait a lot longer to get that. Most people, yeah. Yeah. No. Well, I wouldn't go broad first because it sounded like what you described there. You're saying,
I mean, broad with the keywords that you don't, let's say, black microphone. Put that on broad instead of exact, but that's the main keyword for the product. So what will you broad do?
well, the thing is, if you go exact and you rank for black microphone, you are ranking for those other loose terms anyway by association. So like, you're gonna be climbing in page position for waterproof black microphone. right, on its own. But the first part of what you said, go after the keywords you know you need to win for. What that implies is that your listing was created with that in mind. And if that was created with that in mind, then you just went all in. You have a much shorter title, everything's a lot more truncated, and you're communicating to Amazon pretty much, we're only about black microphone. Not black microphone that changes color based on the light, not any of this other jazz. So if you do that, then you want to go exact. And I would always have an auto in there. But negative, you're exact out of the auto, have your auto running, you're going to pick something up there and run exact. I think that's a solid strategy for almost everyone to start, but especially if you have a small budget. Yeah, but broad pick, you could lose a lot of budget just having the negative stuff out. And you also, if you're placing any stock in the honeymoon period or hitting the ground running, if you have any other UGC, creators doing anything at the same time, like you're blowing a lot of time. So if you're doing that and that works, keep doing it. But yeah, well, I would do exact. Yeah, I would do exact. Yes.
Like Amazon will suggest this amount, right?
Yeah.
How do you determine when to go higher or lower?
I try it's impossible, but I try my best to ignore Amazon's ranges. They say they don't do this, but this is one of the few benefits of running an agency. We manage a lot of spend, and we just get a lot of looks on a lot of different bid types and stuff like that. And here's two things that I'm going to say are a fact. Let's say it says the range here is $1 to $4, right? And you're just like, I'm being aggressive, I'm launching, I'm gonna pay $4. You're quickly gonna be at $5. And if you jumped out there at $2, you're probably gonna be right in the top anyway. So I really believe, based on the data, that Amazon has a lot of exceptions for their penny auction system. So if you're willing to pay more, they're gonna take more. The other one is, I think everyone that I can't tell you how many times I've gone into the thing and it says your bid range is $1 to $4 and there's a 9. And I'm like, what'd you do that for? Why'd you put $9? What were you communicating? What were you trying to do there? But you know what they're paying? 7. We go in there and we move it, and they're still getting same placement at 3. So don't do that. The other thing is this. There's a lot of sellers think they're slick and they're like, I'm gonna put it in a different category. Like I somehow can get my widget in patio, lawn and garden, but it should be in home and kitchen, I don't know. And my bids are better. I can get this badge easier if I'm in another category, this and that. The thing is, your relevancy is also completely different also. So an extreme example that I'll give to really hammer this point home is there used to be a member in the group who had kids. We've all heard about, even if you don't have kids, you've probably heard about the Legos on the floor, and if you walk and you step on a Lego with a bare foot, it's killer, right? So she said there was no toy bags, in a sense, for Legos. And she decided that the lingerie bag, or I guess you could use, I think they're called lingerie bags, but you put delicates inside this bag and you throw it in the thing and you don't have to go, whatever. She decided to get the lingerie bags and use them to store the Legos. They could breathe if they were wet, and they hung up and they were nice. I thought it was a great idea. So she just wrote a listing up. The lingerie bag doesn't say lingerie on it, and just said toy bags for Legos and compatible with. The bids should have been something like 80 cents. She could not get her ad to show for anything less than $8 a click. And the reason for it is the product everyone could see and Amazon could see was not really relevant to a toy product. It was a lingerie bag. And since the relevancy was off, Amazon's like, okay, since you're not so relevant, you need to pay more. Make sense? Yeah. The other thing, the reverse happens too. If the black microphone and you're super clear on what your listing is about, and you're not saying black microphone, great microphone, also good for paperweight, also good for desktop in executive office, great birthday gift. You know, if you don't do that, if you do that, you're going to pay the same or more than everybody else. But if you just put black microphone for X, you're going to pay significantly less in ads because Amazon can see clearer what your product is about, and it's now hyper relevant. So, yeah. Did I answer it? I feel like okay. Yeah.
In what way is the toy bag not relevant?
It's not a toy bag.
So how does Amazon know?
I believe Amazon's able to, I know they do now, but back then I didn't know that they're able to read the images. Like, it was an image that looked identical to a whole bunch of other lingerie bags. I think the UPC code tied to a description of a UPC bag, of a lingerie bag. Nothing about it said toy bag, like, yeah.
Well, have you heard of the new, that Amazon might be old, I'm just not, but this is, they will sell your products for you overseas in these different markets.
Narf.
And sign up, but they're saying a lot of our products have, different SKUs, ASINs or SKUs, because I do FBM too, so they're saying, sell your products overseas, you've got to get rid of the FBM. Did you hear that? And is it any good? I mean, how can sell your products? And they're saying I got to also clear up stuff in other markets, like the UK, and all over the world. And I can clear up. Do I have to? Is there a certain way to clear things up, or and is it going to work, or should I be bothered with that?
I've never. It sounds like you're talking about the NARF program. I've never heard anybody having major success with it.
Oh, okay. NARF.
Having said that, if I wouldn't do it. And Amazon's very likely to do something to your listing in one of these countries, or not police it hard enough, and there's a reseller in another country that's going to somehow be able to update details on that listing, and it's going to have a ripple effect across all your listings in other countries. It also sounds like if you kind of like off the cuff said, yeah, I'm suspended here, I'm suspended there, like it sounds like you're not really on top of your listing across these other countries. I'd get more organized with that, fix those suspensions, and then consider just selling it direct in like one other country and go from there. But I put that in the same category as like virtual bundles. It's like you try them, but I don't know anyone that just broke out with great success on virtual bundles. So, yeah. Huh? Virtual bundles? Yeah, you said virtual money?
That's what I was like.
Oh, you're like, is that another class? Virtual bundles? You don't know?
No.
I know it's
I send bundles to Amazon.
Yeah, so if you have 2 FBA listings and they're in Amazon, you can't tell Amazon, hey, do you mind if I create a 3rd listing and you just get these 2 and put them together for me? Normally you'd need to wrap them, create another listing, and send them in. So with a virtual bundle, you can do that.
But you say it doesn't work.
I mean, you can get something. I just don't think, most people that do virtual bundles, they want to validate something. Just create a listing and send some inventory into FBA. You're gonna find out what you need to know quicker. Yeah. It's also a bad experience. Like somebody will receive 2 different boxes for one order that they got. So, what else do we got? We got 9 more minutes in our beginner hour, which has turned into like a PPC beginner hour. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have my number one competitor. They turned off all their ads and they went direct to TikTok.
They turned off all their ads and went direct to TikTok Shop. Yeah, it's a pretty solid strategy.
And they're still number one.
Yeah.
They didn't drop their sales actually. Everybody sells way a little bit down. And they're just continuing. And it's
TikTok's a beast right now. What happened? We're still on? Oh, all right. Hold up. She asked a really good question. How much more should you expect to pay in ads during the holidays? You might get, that might be best question of the day. Oh no, you're gonna hit it. I don't find October, and we're about to get there. Like, we're about to have Black Friday, Cyber Monday. That's where everything's gonna go crazy. Then we're gonna have a week. That's kind of like, the rumors are gonna go, worst Q4 on record. They'll blame whoever's in office, and then everything just goes right. Yeah. Everyone that's had an open budget that I've worked with as far as ads, meaning they either wanted to gain market share, so they were willing to break even, like usually somebody who has like a subscribe and save type product, or as long as they were getting sales, they had enough profit margin built in that spent over 100% more. Yeah. So. Huh? Yeah, you see it back. Yeah. Well, you see it back, and then you also have to like not celebrate too hard until you see what your returns are in the beginning of the year, but you see it. Yeah.
When you put something on TikTok Shop,
Mm-hmm.
do you see people lowering their cost a little bit to compensate that it's not free shipping?
You mean raising it?
No, lowering the price of your product a little bit to compensate, or like Amazon would say it's, you're paying $50 and then free shipping. Do you see people lowering the price of their product a little on TikTok Shop to make up for the compensating for the free shipping?
I've not seen it. TikTok has a lot of fees.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I've not seen it. TikTok has, have you ever looked online at like TikTok's fee chart?
I looked at it, but I didn't dig, like, is it the same as Amazon or?
In some cases, it could be worse.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure they're going to get better and more streamlined in different areas, but it's yeah. If you, depending on how the sale happened, depends on what fees you're going to get hit with. I don't even have them all by memory. Like there's a lot of combinations that can happen to result in a totally different fee. Yeah.
So I think she's saying she lowered the price so that they have to pay for shipping. Oh, you have the option. Okay.
Yeah, but I guess I might be having a blank. Why would you lower your price if you have to?
The customer has to pay for shipping. Right. So
Oh, if the customer's paying for ship, right, yes, okay. If they're gonna pay $15 for shipping, then I lower my price $15. Right. Yes, okay, yeah, no, it took a second.
people will pay for shipping. People will pay for shipping.
No, I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying like in my head, if I have to go back and if I have to pay $15 versus going and get on Amazon free shipping, I'd rather pay $2 more. Like
Speak.
Oh, good,
Speak-
a lot easier now. I've got to go back to that, yeah.
Speaking of TikTok, I highly recommend you guys start doing
TikTok, okay.
doing something there, like having some kind of presence, whether you're working with just influencers, you're building out your own profile or something like that. Ting's been on it for a while. It's not an overnight thing, but it's looking great. I actually saw, hold on, let me talk slow so I don't like blurt anything out. So like, I saw a video on TikTok and I was like, this is really well done. And I went to go share it with you so you had inspiration because it was in your niche. And then you popped up on it and it was your video. It was you, it was your stuff. So I was like, okay, well this content has like leveled up a lot since it's not catching?
No, it's just rubbing.
Yeah, so that means you're I don't know if you've invested in like different equipment to stabilize, or like your cuts, your edits are getting better or something, but really good stuff. Keep at it. And in like a few years, everyone's gonna come up to you and say, yeah, but you're so lucky, you knew what you were doing. You're an overnight success. That's what they'll start saying.
This is for TikTok shop, getting early. Even if you don't have a product, getting all the stuff, like get all your stuff in already. And then you never know what's gonna happen next day. So just get it early and then you can launch your, uploading your stuff like little by little.
Are you doing better than
Don't wait and happen there. You don't know.
If you guys,
It's already been 3 years, I didn't think I'll do it.
Once you see they inviting you, they inviting my
It-
people to go live, and then people inviting me to open a shop. Once you see that invitation, do that right away.
that is. That is something that if you wanted to start doing it now and like fumble around and just start getting better little by little to be in a really good spot, say in a year, I'd start getting involved in live streaming. And I think that would be a really solid investment right now. One more thing before we get into the topic of the week that I wanted to share. I don't know if anyone else has seen it on Amazon yet. I think it's going to be extremely disruptive. I think it could be in the next 3 weeks, every year Amazon rolls out something and it's like this last second surprise that everyone's upset about. Like if your account's been around for less than a year, you can no longer send in FBA shipments or until January or some random thing or something, a hack that everyone's been doing to be super successful and all of a sudden they close the loop. It's always around this time of the year that happens, and it usually happens in a few weeks. They just rolled something out that I think is possible that is gonna be a major disruptor in this Q4 and much of next year. Could be wrong, but I'm just gonna put it out there. Have you guys seen any animations or text bubbles showing up on your ads? Have you seen that yet? Okay, so what's happening is, I gotta stand up for this one makes me nervous. So what's happening is a headline, you know on Shopify sites, who's familiar with Yopto? The YOPTO? No? It's a thing that what it does is it gathers the reviews that you get from your Shopify site. And then when you're looking at somebody's Shopify site, they look like text bubbles pop up. Like, Sandra says 5 stars, my kids loved it, or whatever. And they keep popping up. So they look like that. But now you're looking at an ad, and say the ad was for black microphones. And what starts popping up on there is compatible with, and it shows what it's compatible with, or not compatible with. Doesn't always fit. What do they say on the clothing? There's a fit. Huh? No, not one size fits all. They'll tell you like there's something that Amazon puts out there, like mediums don't always fit as mediums or something.
Run small.
True to size, yes. So they'll put something on there like this thing's not true to size. So positive and negative feedback, not just reviews, but comments and stuff that are being pulled from Rufus are starting to populate in the ad that you're running, and you don't control that. So on Amazon's side, apparently, this was something that they announced at their last event that they did. and no one really paid it any attention because it was like, that's silly. But it's apparently AI based, tied into Rufus, I think. And someone now could go to search, see your ad, want to click your ad, but be discouraged or encouraged from clicking your ad based on comments that are being populated in your ad. I think that can be, well, if it's getting you more clicks, then that's great. But if you're being discouraged from clicking on it, that could be problematic. Or what if it's populating wrong information? Who do you report that to? I didn't see any buttons on where to report that. Anyhow, I'd keep an eye on that. If your ads start going off a cliff, or you notice you're not getting like any sales whatsoever on ads that you were normally getting sales for, I'd look into that. Yeah? Okay. Any questions on the?
Have you done Amazon Haul? Have you heard of that, Amazon Haul?
Haul? I've heard of it.
Yeah, my friend from China told me to do that, but it's an invite only or something. You have to send an email to Amazon to look at that too, but I haven't heard anything.
Where they give you a random haul of stuff?
It's supposed to be cheaper, because you're supposed to be able to compete with the imports coming in from China. But I haven't gotten a response back, and I don't know how, nobody's, tech support said I had to send them an email, send me an email to get a response, and they haven't responded, so I don't know about it.
Yeah. I wouldn't turn this next thing I'm going to say into a business, and you just said like a haul from China. But I guess I'm just mentioning it for anyone that's looking for a temporary side hustle, since this is the beginner hour. So I bought, on TikTok, I bought these, they're very gothic, but they look like the bones of your hand, and they're gold, and then they wrap around your knuckle like a ring, and then there's another bone. So basically, it looks like a skeleton over your hand, and you can go like this. So I bought it for a friend of mine, and well, I got them for, I think you saw them in the money. So the thing is, what they showed in the ad, they were connected. This one only had like a piece, and you had to like tie it in. So it was a completely different model. So I was like, okay, let me just figure out what a return looks like on TikTok and what this process is. It was a total nightmare. But in the meantime, I was like, I wanted to get this for my friend. So I went on AliExpress and I started searching around for this, and I found several. But when I found these shops that were selling it, another strange thing happened is I noticed I started getting retargeted like crazy for these things that I was seeing in this AliExpress shop on TikTok, which I thought was like pretty weird. I didn't know I could be retargeted from AliExpress with TikTok stuff. But pretty much everything I saw in this AliExpress shop was selling on TikTok. And it was selling for a lot more money than what it was selling for on AliExpress. And it looks like it was selling a lot. I suspect like we're sort of in a stage with TikTok and TikTok Shop that Amazon used to have. And there was like a year and a half where you could just go get glow-in-the-dark dog collars and buy them by the case and just flip them on eBay until it got really saturated. Then early days Amazon, you can do that. But if anybody's looking just to make a few $1,000s extra per month, I suspect there's a lot of opportunities from just like AliExpress to, I wouldn't drop ship it, but buying a,
How would you do it?
I'd buy a box.
Oh, buy a box and just have it.
Yeah, I'd buy a box. I mean, a lot of these ads, like this one, it just showed someone's hand wearing it and doing this. Yeah, I'd buy a box and do it and get some sales and grow it from there. I suspect it would work for a while. Yeah, cool. All right, no more questions on this? If not, we'll get into the topic of the week. Any questions on either one? Are you looking at YouTube too or no? Oh, you got YouTube here? Sounds like microphone is rubbing, nice. Going to check the newsletter. We'll read that one again. I've attended the accelerator program and highly recommend. Okay, PLMA. PLMA, who here's not been to PLMA? Okay. It's Private Label Manufacturers Association. Basically what it is, and I'm going to use the word factory, supplier, facility, just interchangeably, basically the same thing. It's a bunch of factories that get together and exhibit in Chicago each year. And it's a big association. They do stuff around the world, but the one in Chicago I've been going to forever. I didn't go during COVID, but it's my main show. I used to have a lot of main shows, and this is the only one that I don't drop. It's full of suppliers who have factories that make goods, predominantly food. And when they're not running their machines, so they have their own brands, and when they're not running their machines, they want to keep their machines running, making money. They will private label what they're capable of making for you. So they have all of the certificates, everything that you'd need to go get on your own if you were attempting to do this yourself, and instead they'll just do it for you. I find that the minimum order quantities are on par with what you can get in China, so, some exceptions both ways. Plenty of times you could order less quantities from these USA-based suppliers than I've ever seen in China. And this isn't meant to be, by the way, like a US versus China, which one you should do. In addition, you're going to find other services there. I'm not a huge fan of the few services that are there, like the packaging people. I don't think you really need them, but there's some really good inspection services that you can find. I grabbed a few. I always talk about getting your factory inspected. I spoke to several of them about, the equivalent, getting the equivalent done here in the US. And that's exactly what they do, pretty affordably too. You get to meet some co-packers, which we'll get into in a second. Just really good show. This is the first year that I intentionally went in there to try to cover what I wanted to cover in one day. I usually broke it up into 2 days, which is the length of the show. It's like 2.5 days. I was easily able to do it. The following day, I think, is still good, maybe for a couple hours at least, to circle back to any of the vendors you spoke to on day one and try to advance the conversation some more. The majority of the time that I've gone to PLMA, I've gone by myself, but we started doing it as a group, and little by little, it's really catching on in the group, which is great. The biggest point of friction with a lot of sellers, and hopefully us as a group is getting past that, but a lot of other Amazon sellers in the space regarding this show is it's food. And food, for some reason, is seen as this really intimidating thing that you should avoid. And on the contrary, there's very little downside to it. The main, when I press somebody on it, they're like, yeah, but it can expire, like it can go out of date. But you can run out of inventory too, and that happens all the time. Yeah, and the expiration dates on these products are, I mean, we're talking about, like, most of the expiration dates I was talking to people here, it's 2 years. So it's plenty of time.
I talked to a couple people of things that I wasn't really interested in that they were sharing. And some of them were like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it's plenty of time. Like, expiration dates are not something that you should be really concerned. I mean, you want to know them, but it shouldn't be something that's stopping you from selling a food product. Pros on food products, though, there's quite a bit. Pros are, if you buy a bag of chips that you like, you probably continue to buy that bag of chips. You don't get a different types of chips that you've never had before every time you do it. So the subscribe and save portion of it is quite high. If you're buying a flour or a liquid or an ingredient, you're probably going to keep cooking that thing and you're going to keep needing it. So the replenishable aspect of it, the subscription element of it, is probably the best thing you could possibly do on Amazon. The show's big, and every year it's bigger. I think they added like 400, like 400 additional booths. Was that about right, Bruce? Like 400? Yeah, it was much bigger this year. I see it as one of the best years ever that I've seen as far as, I felt like there was less attendees, but that was a plus for me. I wasn't impacted. I mean, it could have been half as many attendees, and that still would have been great for me. What about you, Bruce? First time attending? What are you? So your second time attending. What do you think?
I think it was more spread out this year because there was more exhibitors, so there may or may not have been more attendees.
Oh, that's true.
I think, personally, I think it's one of the easiest ways to get into business, period, by going to this show. So
Yeah.
everybody's there, they want to do business.
So the products are there.
Yeah.
Right. Literally, could go there, talk to people, if you see something you like, compare pricing, and order. And we're a business, essentially. It's a little more complicated than that, but that's the gist of it.
Absolutely. What did you think?
I tried some food products on Amazon tea. I was selling tea.
Well, you
I
picked.
didn't get any. Amazon just took it. I mean, they took it off. They suspended it like a year ago. Said it can't sell anymore. And it just, I mean, all my products, they destroyed the product. And you know, I just, I don't know. I mean, it's just, you know, to me, it seems like I'm not sure exactly why they did it. You know, I mean, now when I look back, I mean, they told me why they did it before, but you know, it's just, I don't know.
Man, you've been having a hard go at it. It seems like Shopify suspended you. You got several Amazon suspensions. You're suspended in other countries.
That's why I'm here.
I almost want to say there's a common denominator there.
That's why I'm here. I'll tell you.
At some point.
At some point, it's all gonna be gone.
I-
I'm just gonna I've gotta figure out how to get it from my web. What gets.
At some point, I'm like, it might be me.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Chris, what about you? What did you think?
Excellent, yeah, I plan to go.
Well, you were depressed most of the time missing Ting. We had to like cheer him up.
No,
He couldn't stop talking about you.
no,
Oh yeah.
no.
Yeah, I met with some other potential future things that I was interested in doing. And I even sort of to check some pricing for some current stuff I was doing. And, yeah, but a lot of, build up with a lot more,
Did you ever make it out to see your supplier?
Yeah,
How did that go?
went good. Yeah, I'm glad I went. One thing that they didn't, I guess, maybe I didn't communicate fully because I'm over the phone. So we were there and they were showing like the equipment, the facilities, and then some other ideas popped up.
Okay.
I'm kind of a little old school. I like to do these like an initial face-to-face or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's the product business that's going forward.
Cool. Cool. Tom?
I love the fact that you could meet people from different countries and see what
Oh
they
no.
sell.
Oh God. This is not what I think it is it?
Serbian manufacturer, and I love the translations can get lost, so this one was happy and raw balls.
Pass it around. Pass it around.
I just don't know if the translation from Serbia to the US, I mean, the packaging looks amazing. I'm just wondering about I was gonna ask
That's AI for you.
I was gonna ask you about the keywords on that on Amazon.
You almost want to go up to them and say, are they salty or not salty? Right? Is there a low sodium version? It's what?
Selling point.
It's a selling point.
I already memorized. I don't know what that is. I already know, like, I memorized the name. Wrong. Yeah.
So this is a plus. You're saying it's a plus.
Definitely it's a plus. 'Cause if you want to make it perfect, you won't remember.
The what?
You don't know how you want.
It would be great for TikTok.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. I think that'd be a great thing on TikTok. Yeah. Well, I'm sure the booth is kind of
Like these raw balls are delicious.
I have the book here, so I got an extra copy, so this is 1,800 different vendors over there. So, and when I talk about a different vendor, I mean like you walk into, Chris's pretzel shop, and he's selling not just pretzels, but pretzels, I don't know, they're yogurt covered, or he's selling nuts and everything else. So it's 1,400 vendors that are selling massive amounts of stuff. So the only negative about the show is it's big, but you're walking down an aisle that's like 300 yards long, and they're not all the same food groups. So your sensory buds are all out of the place. Like there's avocado oil, and then there's happy raw balls.
Bruce,
and then
watch
there's
this.
sesame seed oil, and then there's frozen pizza, and then there's ice cream, and then there's mochis and macarons, and you're like,
The other difficult thing is if you're trying to walk together as a group with Tom, he'll just break off and you lose him.
you can't find private label product there, I'll be absolutely shocked. So,
What's the big?
It's okay.
$495, which in the Amazon world to me is super cheap. But the whole thing is really that catalog. That's really the barrier to entry is to get the catalog. Because the catalog has everything sorted by food groups, what they do, and so you'll find all kinds of people there. It's really grocery stores are shopping for things to put their private label on. And then give it to you as a private label seller too. Yeah, you have to, everybody wants to give you their free
Are you almost
stuff,
done?
It's like, imagine going to Costco on Sunday, and they're all, everybody's got everybody has a tray out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good experience.
I just went to a Scandinavian show, Christmas show from Finland up in Lantana. They had a lot of products from Scandinavia. I guess that could be.
Berto, that might be your next PL. You open it and it goes da 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 da.
But how do you, once you get the food product, how do you know you have to go to FDA or do they do it?
No, so this is one of the good things. They have all that.
Oh.
Right. There's some things with organic, like if you want to do organic, that you got to do a little differently. But again, not complicated at all. They'll walk you through it themselves. There's some other pieces that are in place that are different when you're ordering from somebody there. And those are like, if you're used to ordering from, say, a factory in another country. So let's just use China as an example. Everything's there. Here, it's not. So you need to, you're
Here, what do you mean?
in the U.S. These are U.S.-based suppliers. Yeah, and PLMA. So say you're going to order those nuts. Those are nuts, right? You're going to order those nuts. They might supply you those nuts by the barrel. They're not going to put those nuts in a bag and do all that. You need to get those nuts that are in a barrel and send them somewhere. So once you have the supplier, you're then going to look for a co-packer. And that co-packer is going to be like, just send us your packaging and we'll do all that. That's really it. Now, if you're ordering several thousand units, and you're not going to send them all to FBA, the other piece you might need is a 3PL, someone to warehouse your goods. But a lot of the times, one or all of these will do all of that for you. So it's, yeah.
It's not just food as well, it's personal health care,
Yeah.
OTC drugs, supplements, so there's a lot, there's at least hundreds of those centers.
Yeah, it's, if you're going to go to one show per year, I recommend it's PLMA. Absolutely. Again, if you're a reseller wanting to get into private label or just stick with resale,
I think it's a great first show.
yeah, it's a great first show. How the resale side works is you're going up to a booth, they're showing all of the goods that they make, their brand, and you know that they'd like to find someone to work with so that they could start your brand. But when you're looking at their goods and their brand right there at the booth, just look it up on Amazon. And many times, because they're selling to stores, like that's what these factories are trying to do. Like they sell to Walmarts and all this other stuff. Their goods are on Amazon, It looks like there's some arbitrage sellers and stuff on there. They're selling really good in spite of themselves. You know, really crappy listing, 500 units a month. So just have the conversation with them right then and be like, look, I'd like to sell your stuff. This is what I can do with your listing. Like you're talking to them face to face. It's a great show, man, for how Amazon sellers are not all over it. Every year I go, I'm like, well, this is it. Like next year it's gonna be a zoo. It's gonna be full of Amazon sellers. But no, this year I didn't see, besides us, I didn't see any other really like Amazon sellers.
I thought there was a lot more pet suppliers there this year.
There was more pet suppliers. Yeah, I noticed that.
It just ended, right? It just ended this, November.
18th?
No, oh, so and you went in the group?
We went, yeah. Yeah, every year we go.
Oh, wow.
How do
How do you find out about that? How do you find out when you guys are going? You just,
I announce it.
oh, you
Yeah. I'd say everybody that went, and I think I was able to speak to everyone at least a little bit, everyone that went has the product idea or product that they want to do, with the exception of like one or two, and their goal was it's their first time and they wanted to go in, or I guess like Bruce too had a different goal. You already got your product, but there was plenty of things you could find. There's ideas of what you could move forward with, and now just considering if that's the direction they want to go. But everyone, it was a win for everyone.
Is there any way you get sample order with sample packaging and sample private label? You know, like a couple, maybe 100 pieces or something, instead of like just China orders where you're spending thousands, you know, to get, sample orders to try and do things.
I'd say most of them are gonna get you to order something like, I don't know, 1,000 to 2,000 pounds. So if you're selling 1 pound bags, then that's 1,000 to 2,000 units. But you can mix that up into 2 pound bags, 3, 5 pound bags to bring the totals number per SKU down. There was, for most people are like that. There was a handful, and not in the whole show, just that I spoke to, so there had to be considerably more, that when you asked them what their MOQ was, they were like, look, if you're not in a rush for your order, it's whatever you want. So you want to order 50 units or 100 units, that's fine. Just wait till the next time I get an order for that, and you piggyback on that. And they were 100% fine with that. You want to order 50 units, 100 units, you can do it. I know that was just a question though, but I would never order 100 units and try to test something. I mean, you're going to want to put 30 in Vine. The issue is, there used to be something called the poor man's PL. When I started, when I started, it wasn't called private label, it was called white labeling, right? And then, like 5 years later, what's that course? AMS or ASM, Amazing Selling Machine came out, and they started calling this private label. And when that came out, you had to pay thousands of dollars to be part of this course. So there started to become popular something called poor man's PL. And poor man's PL was, you want to sell a French press, go find someone like Winco or one of these other kitchen distributors and grab their generic French press, slap a sticker of your label on it, leave it in the brown box, sell it, validate it, and if it works, then decide to place your 2,000 unit order with China. But a lot's changed on Amazon since then. If you don't have brand registry, if you don't have your A+ content, there's so many things you need on your listing, and you need a trademark for it. You want to put 30 units into Vine. You're not going to accidentally get sales like you used to be just because you created a listing. You need to run ads. So the cost of really starting things is a lot higher. So I don't think getting 100 units of something and putting it as merchant fulfilled is really validating anything anymore. Like, you're not.
Well, let me ask you, I've got like thousands of units now that I can't sell with my food product. Is there somebody on my tea? I can't seem to find anybody that wants to pick it up with a liquidation. Do you know any tea, food product?
How many units of tea do you have?
Thousands, well, units of tea, about 1,000 gift boxes. I have gift boxes, thousands, about 1,000 right now. And some other, I don't know exactly. I have to check the warehouse. doesn't expire, but I do have a date on it that I made a mistake on. I put a date there, but that was the manufacturing date. But this is tea that lasts forever. It does not, I mean, it's just, they used to give it to the emperors in China, and, very special tea. But I just can't, Amazon dropped it, and.
I mean, you're describing you have the best tea on earth and it can't be sold?
But it's not selling, so I'm looking for an outlet to get rid of it. I mean,
Have you tried eBay?
Walmart? Oh, no, Walmart, no, I mean, how would I try Walmart? Yeah.
Is that my kids?
I mean, it's not selling on Walmart. I mean, it's not selling either.
Huh? What do you need? You can come.
I probably just want to get rid of it now. Probably just want to get rid of the whole batch, just lower it. Might be able to do something with it. It's very nice label, it's a beautiful box.
Yeah, I guess I'm not clear on why it's not selling.
I don't know if I want, well, the option, I could give it away, but I mean, I'd like to sell it, but, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it one, just a liquidation price, really. Just get rid of it out of the warehouse.
So you're sitting on the best tea on earth, nobody wants to buy it, and you can't liquidate it.
I tell you, it got me. I just went into this business, I said, this tea is gonna be great, and I bought it, and, it's just been very hard to sell it. It's a Puer tea, Puer.
A what?
Oh, it's emperor's tea, that's
Oh, Puer is that?
I don't even think American knows what that.
That's probably, that's what it is.
I know it right away. He doesn't know anything about it.
It's, yeah, you're from China. You're
Yeah.
from China. Yeah, I can tell, just say you know Puer. That's the problem. Yeah, I think, I saw it, I just, I spent too much time in China.
Americans drink tea totally different than Chinese.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's another thing. Americans would definitely
So-
sell.
So one of the
Anyway, yeah, but anyway, so I'm gonna start a business in Vietnam, I'm gonna sell it in Vietnam. But I need to, get rid of it. I have all this stuff in the warehouse, and I just wanna have a, I want a food person to buy it. Maybe, I don't know what they do with it, but whatever they do with it, whatever they do with it, it's good tea. I'd sell it cheaper than the people.
No, local restaurants.
What?
Local restaurants, stuff like that.
So one of the easiest things to sell that almost everybody at PLMA was really interested in is dry ingredients, which for obvious reasons is it's lighter. This year, what I really liked from the group was there was less trying to think of a dry ingredient that somebody's not selling, but I'm just going to say, let's call it macadamia powder, right? The last few years, it was like this, just get macadamia powder. Now, there's a lot more people in the group, which I think is great, and it really opens it up to where everyone can be focused on the same areas and not be competing with each other, and that's blending. So you might have your macadamia powder, or they would blend it with sugar, be macadamia sugar. You'd put maca. You could put any other powders you want with it, and then what you're doing is supplier, and you're working with a supplier, and you're just saying, look, I want a blend of these two things. One example I found when I was just showing people at the group was there was this stand, and it had turmeric, spirulina, and all these different things in a big ring. And that supplier actually said they only work with supermarkets. But there's plenty of others that did. One of the things there was oat milk, like an oat milk powder. And the other one was, what was it? Tom, do you happen to remember? We were looking at oat milk powder and something else right now. No, this time. What was it?
What was the question?
What were we looking at as far as the dry goods? We looked at one and I was like, this is money here. And it was oat milk powder and something. Huh? No. Huh? No, it's not yours. It's not what you're doing. This is something totally different. No, that's no, this is oat milk powder and it was something having to do with coffee. It was no. What's a popular flavor? I don't know.
Was it the cold pressed coffee?
No. Is it pumpkin spice? No. But it was basically like a, oh my God, I'm getting this wrong. So imagine that. You just got two different spices and I was like, you know what I would do if I were you? Because there was so many different spices or seasonings or dry goods. I was like, I would just grab a picture of all these or a video. I'd put it in ChatGPT and say, what cool combinations can you make out of this for specific recipes? Instead of going to Amazon and trying to figure out, well, what are all the oat milk things and what are this? And we came up with one and we searched for it right there on the spot. It had something like 1,600 sales per month. There was only 2 sellers. And even these people who were pricing their stuff kind of high, I think they wanted like $4 per unit. Each of these things were selling for like $34 a bag, $34 a pound. Like really high profit margins. So you could easily do stuff like that. You don't need to be at PLMA to do it. You could just go to your dry goods section or seasonings or flours or anything like that at the store. Just take a picture of it, run a video, stick it in ChatGPT, and that's what I did right there on the spot with them. And I was just like, give me combinations for blah, 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 for recipes that are not, I guess, native or original to the US. And it started spitting out a whole bunch of different blends that you could do with these seasonings. And when you ask them, they're like, yeah, we could absolutely do that. So you don't need to stick just with what you see available for sale at the show. They have the capacity to blend it. They have the capacity to mix it, coat it, whatever you want to do. You're looking at something and you're like, oh, this macadamia powder is great. I'd love to have it powdered into a cookie. You can totally do that.
Funny, last night I was at this very Scandinavian show up in Atlanta, and they had marzipan, this raw marzipan, and I think that would, they only come out at Christmas, these marzipan bars that I see, they come out at Christmas and they come out with the cakes and with marzipan, but I think mixing those and then some candy bars and some, other stuff would be interesting, yeah.
A lot of great candy suppliers there.
Interesting,
Yeah.
I think after the tea, I'm going to hold back. I mean, after that was a big investment.
Okay.
But I hear you, Carlos. No,
Yeah.
nothing else. I mean, hey, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah, overall, I can't emphasize enough, you should totally go to PLMA next year. Last year, I never got a volunteer to scan the catalog. This year, looks like we have the majority of the catalog scanned. Should be going up rather soon. I'd say within the next 7 days, maybe, or before we meet again, it'll be up, and the rest of it, I'm sure within a couple weeks after that. But if you've not seen it before, absolutely. I'll make the catalog available for free in the app, just like I do the other ones. Like right now, if you go to the Wizards of Ecom app and you go to the bottom right, you'll see the resources section, and you can get the PLMA catalog from 2024 or 23. Download it and just upload it into ChatGPT, and you can ask it any questions you want. Like one that I like to ask is for it to give you all of the phone number, address, website information for the suppliers in this massive catalog that can do blank, and it'll just spit it out. So that's something you can do now, and the most recent catalog will be going up soon.
Carlos, do you still go to the Canton Fair? Do you have a
It looks like we'll be going in April, but we've not gone since COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that used to be a brutal twice-a-year trip that we did. I might go in April. If I do, it'll be my last time going.
Why is that?
Because I'm pushing 50. Because I'm,
Yeah, Carlos.
nah, China was, it's been great. It's been great for business for me. I have a lot of friends over there. I get sick every single time I go. I mean, like high fever every time I go. It destroys my sinuses. It's a very rough trip for me. And then hosting the trip, I'm usually there a month, a little short of a month when I'm there, because I need to get there like 2 or 3 days to like acclimate, and then I stay 2 or 3 days after the trip, and then I'm there for all 3 phases. So I'm there almost a month. It's a long, I got my kids now. They're getting older. A month that's a tall order there, even if I just go for a phase. So it looks like I'll go one more time just to, I don't know, take some selfies or something like that. But I think that's it. I have enough contacts over there now that if I need something, I just ask them to drive over and go talk to so-and-so. I don't feel like getting sick like that anymore.
I just got my 10-year visa.
I've also never found food over there that I loved.
Food that you love.
I haven't. No.
I feel like KFC is better than here.
Their KFC?
Yeah.
I just find the chicken to be a little purple. Looks a little purple.
I came from a very,
Yeah.
little town.
It destroys me. I mean, and that's by the way, that's a personal thing. I'm not saying that applies across the board. I know plenty of people that love it, look forward to going, and I'm just not one. So it's very brutal on me health-wise. Also, China's gotten so much better with this. Let me put this out here, but I think I've gone over 50 times that I've been there for quite a bit. When I started going, the pollution was a lot different.
The what was started?
There was pollution in the areas that I was going was a lot different. It's gotten so much better. But man, anytime I'd go to Chaozhou, where I used to have a lot of my suppliers,
Where?
Chaozhou, it was like they didn't have roads. Like everything was red, like because of the red dirt or sand or whatever that would just be in the air. And it was like if you've ever been around, like if you've ever done any car work, and you're like sanding a car or using Bondo or something like that, you wind up picking that stuff out of your nose for like 3 weeks because it's like it gets up in there. And I was just like, it was bad. It was bad for me.
Where is that near, Chaozhou?
It's about a 2-hour train ride from, say, north of Guangzhou.
Oh, Guangzhou. Oh,
Yeah, but in a train, like a real bullet train.
Wow.
Yeah, not no bright line.
Guilin, another province?
Yiwu.
EU is in, that's around her place, Shanghai. That's in
Yeah.
Shanghai. Right?
Yeah, I don't.
That's a ways out.
Yeah.
Not way south,
Well, look, it's phenomenal for business. It's phenomenal for business. I'm gonna go one more time with the group.
I'll go with it.
Yeah, I'll go one more time with the group. We'll do some good business. We'll have some fun. And then I won't go back until I need to go back for a product or something that's over there. I see myself focusing more on like replenishable type products personally. It's just a personal choice, like food-based, replenishable type stuff. I don't like how let me tell you, it's really alarming how expensive Amazon ads have become and show no sign of slowing down. Yeah.
What's your social line for?
The cost of Amazon advertising. I've always had a content first approach when it comes to starting a brand. And that's really helped me a lot, and it's going to continue helping a lot. That's why I talk so much to you guys about starting an email newsletter. That's why I try to talk to you guys about starting some sort of branding for your brand or a personal brand, or do something so that you can offset a lot of this, or that you can be the one that's in control of the traffic or the direction that you need your business to go. If not, you are making a choice, and that choice is wherever Amazon wants to price their ads. There is no more just putting your products on Amazon and not running ads and just making a meaningful amount of sales. Like, that's not it. And if Amazon's your whole gig and you haven't even begun the learning curve that is Shopify, like you're looking at in a year and a half only not being able to profitably sell. That's insane. So I don't mind breaking even or barely making any money on a purchase if I know that 2 out of every 10 sales result in a recurring monthly subscription. I'm okay with that. But yeah, I'm selling knee braces. I'm selling $20 knee braces on Amazon. Like, yeah, no thank you. No way. Why? $20 knee braces. You know what you're left with after 20 bucks after fees? Not a lot. Not a lot. And then you back out your cost. And then you back out like how much it costs you in ads to acquire that sale, because knee braces is an expensive keyword. Like,
I'm just doing legacy sales now. I'm not even dealing with the PPC.
I'll tell you what, for those of you,
I'm just doing, because I have a brand now for 20 years, but it's not that much, but it's better. I'm doing better with organic sales than I am with the PPC. The PPC is just really low, so I'm just, so I just gotta get the keywords right. Space.
So check this out. For those of you that know me for a long time, you'll know there's a category that I'm just like anti. Like, I don't want anything to do with it. I warn people against it. Supplements. Supplements. I was like, stay away from supplements. We're in a spot now where I'm like, okay, like let's check this out. And there's a way to do it. I don't think you should just like go all in on some random supplement. You know what I mean? Like, even we're talking, you're going that way. So, you're looking at it now. At least there's a built-in subscription model there. Look, for the last year, I've gone really hard on like nutrition, working out and stuff like that. And then some of the branding stuff that I do online, I can't tell you how many people like reach out about that, and I recommend some like NAD or something like that to somebody, and they're buying it. Like, I see it off the links that I'm sending. They're buying the heck out of it, which tells me, like, no one looks at me and says, oh, that's who I want to get my supplement advice from, right? But they're buying the stuff that I'm saying. So that means if I did want to just use my presence currently online and start putting out there an NAD or some kind of supplement, I actually could offset a lot of my ad costs. Like, that's wild. Like, I don't know, that's super exciting for me, and I think that's something that you guys should take into account as well.
Have you checked out ChatGPT /merchants? You have to sell ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Do you have to enlist for it, or?
I know a lot of people getting sales currently from ChatGPT, and they didn't enlist in it. Like, ChatGPT is now the #1 Amazon. They hold the #1 spot for Amazon influencer and Amazon associates. Like, just by the amount of traffic they're doing through their associate stuff. So they're selling directly.
I saw some influencer, they connected ChatGPT, so I think you have to enlist with them.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to have a Shopify site, and then it's like a merchant program with them.
Yeah. It's been, I'm finding myself using ChatGPT a lot. Like, if I'm looking at somebody's rig for like a recording set or something like that, or I see somebody on YouTube that has a set that I'm like, oh, I like that. I'll just screenshot it. I'll put it up there. And I say, can you give me a list of all the products that are here, of the products and the specs, and it'll give it to me. Like that's. I think Google's gonna win. I think the only person that's in a position to disrupt Amazon is YouTube. Yeah. Which, yeah.
You saw their geo that started last week, 2 weeks ago, and Google AI Studios, and started creating apps like stuff.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, something.
Chris, Bruce, Tom, that you guys went to PLMA. Anything else you wanted to add? Am I missing anyone else that attended PLMA? No?
Amsterdam, PLMA is in April, in Amsterdam.
Yeah, if you want to go to Amsterdam.
Are you gonna go?
Are you going to go? Rahul's gonna go.
Have you,
You guys are gonna go to Amsterdam?
have you already done private label contracts?
This is my third time there.
I've heard it's nowhere near as good as Chicago, but that it was still very good.
Depends on who you live with.
Oh, okay. Well, no, then that's solved.
With a knife like that,
If you can't go down one major aisle and find a product, then there's something wrong.
Really?
Then maybe you're in the frozen food section, you can't sell on Amazon, but there's so much stuff there. So I think Amazon sellers, for the most part, are going to China, look for a physical product, and then sell it. So I don't think there's a need anymore, and I think there is an open space on Amazon to sell food stuff. You can go subscribe and save, you can build brands, so whatever that's in, the wafer section, wafer chocolate, wafer chocolate, wafer stores in
Yeah.
the US. So what you do is, either you find the person that has the, what did you say, what kind of flour did you say, oatmeal flour?
Macadamia.
Macadamia flour. So maybe you find a guy who says, or a girl who says, this is all I have here, I can sell it to you in 50-pound bags. That's great, now how do you get it into your package? So what you do is you find something called a co-packer. And so you send them your packaging requirements, whether that's a standard pouch, or a bag, or a rigid, or whatever that is. And then once you kind of put the two together, right, so you send your raw ingredients to the co-packer. Co-packer packs it, puts it in a master box for you, and then you send them the bill of lading, and it comes in and gets fixed up. So kind of, I don't want to call it drop shipping, because I think it's much sexier than drop shipping, because this is your true private label brand on it. Or you'll find someone that has their own brand that they're selling of macadamia nuts, and they'll take their roll of packaging off, and they'll put yours on, because their machinery is maybe only running 30% of the time. So they have the bandwidth to now private label their product, which is basically their same product. And maybe they're selling it in Target and stuff like that, and maybe they're on Amazon, but they're kind of like just checking the boxes that they said they're on Amazon, which you'll see a lot of people that are doing that. So I think
Right.
based on keyword research, which we do with Grand Poobah or your own stuff, man, I don't know, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Are you able to sell, are you able to, with your private label, have you gone knocking on, some of the, big box stores, not online stuff, but like big box stores like Publix and.
I personally have had a rough time getting into big box stores, so I've used a company called Range Meat for about a year.
Oh, range meat, yeah, what do you think about that?
I didn't have much success with it.
No, I don't either.
I do have some friends that got into Home Depot that sold actual live plants in the Home Depot. But you just have to be really careful because they can return your live plants in 60 days and you're stuck with that return. So just be careful wanting to get into a big box retailer without really understanding the full metrics of it. So I think you're better off, in my opinion, Amazon, TikTok, and your own Shopify. And once you fill up that stuff, go back to PLMA and find that.
But can you compete with the big box, can you give them a good price with the, after you go to the, can you give them a good price and, I mean, that, until you have to be able to supply the big box when you need them,
Well, I mean,
when they need it.
let me argue back with you about, like, if I wanna go to Macy's right now and find a blue, I don't know, Ralph Lauren polo shirt, you know what the chances are that they'll have a blue one in my size, exactly what I want, and on sale for me? Probably not very good, right? If I go on Amazon, I can buy anyone underneath the color of the rainbow, and there may be 2 or 3 different sellers for it. It's the same kind of thing with grocery. Maybe in grocery, your grocery store doesn't carry that item, and I don't know about you, but I buy on Amazon because of the 2-day
You
shipping.
buy groceries on Amazon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I want the 2-day shipping, I want to subscribe and save, and I want to be able to put it back to them if I want to. So to me, the ease of, I don't want to drive around finding traffic anymore. Maybe I'm just a pain in the ass when it comes to that, but I shop more on Amazon now for lots of stuff, not just books.
Is it cheaper than, say, the big box Publix, is it cheaper than Publix?
Yes.
Amazon's cheaper. Wow.
100%. You buy all your groceries, meats, you buy everything. You buy ice cream. It's cheaper than Publix. Significantly. I wasn't a believer. Ramon and the group was doing it. We put it side by side. In most cases, it was cheaper than Serrano's. The only meats that we found cheaper online, I mean, you got to compare cuts, was Costco. You can get the meats cheaper at Costco. But everything was cheaper and delivered. ice cream. Now you also can't, if you're going to run to the store to buy one item and come back, no. But if you're getting your groceries and you're bundling them enough up in their coolers and they deliver it, I was dying to prove Ramon wrong on that. But no, it's true. You do all your groceries.
I just heard you say that you would never waste your time on like the breaks, right, for your money
Okay.
to sell it.
See, but that's a strong statement. Like, never waste my time selling an eBay. Like, there was some. If I had a channel on YouTube that talked about sports injuries, or I created a YouTube channel that was about weekend warriors. Like, there's this group of people that play flag football on the weekends, and they don't stretch properly. They're not wearing cleats. They're more prone to injury. If I had like a really robust channel like that, I'd be down with a knee brace, because the thing is, I don't need to get my sales from Amazon. So,
But, so, what I'm trying to get at is, because you were saying like the margins are so small at Amazon, right?
yeah.
But, as a beginning, selling, was that always your mentality? Because I feel as though if you're going into Amazon, thinking of how much money you have to spend and just getting in, you're probably just looking for a product that, until you know Amazon, you're probably just looking for a product where, okay, if I can make $5 for 1,000, then I'm still better off if I want to be a seller. And that may seem small money, but I feel like as a beginning seller,
I'm not sure. I'm not completely sure what you're asking.
was that always your mentality? Like, I don't need, like, how did you figure out what products you wanted to sell in the beginning, not knowing much about Amazon, right? Because now you know a whole lot, so you know that that's not where you want to be.
Right.
But in the beginning, how did you choose products without having all this research?
Oh, in the beginning, I chose products if I could see that I made a $3 profit margin. And like, if I could sell $3 per product and I can turn it within a couple weeks, I was doing a resale model on Amazon. I'd look for the supplier list, or I'd say I need to find something from my supplier list that makes me, like, I had a number that I didn't really care. And I was like, can I make a mortgage? I compared everything to a payment, because I was like, can I make a mortgage payment from this brand? And then if I did, and I was like, well, while I'm ordering from you, there's like this other stuff that sells 6 times a month and I could do $2 to $3 profit per. I did it, but I also didn't know a lot of stuff. Like, I would just like nod when we were talking about profit margin versus, like, I was just happy to be able to like turn, and hopefully it was growing the right way.
Because I think that's how we all started off.
Yeah, but I also did not have anyone pointing stuff out to me too, so it doesn't mean that what I did was right. I would order something that had a 300% profit margin, but sold once every 4 months, and I'd tie up $30. And I was like, yeah, I thought that was great. As a matter of fact, I had a strategy one year that after the holiday on Christmas, I would go into the Kmarts when they were open, and I'd buy all their Christmas stuff. Or after the pool season, I'd buy all their pools and we'd put them on the top shelf of our pallet, of our racks, just to hold them for the next year. Because we'd get them for $40 a pool and we could sell them for $250 a pool. But we tied up a lot. I didn't understand like the importance of turning your inventory. Like, and I don't know the correct term right now, but like, I know it wasn't good. And I know my credit cards didn't say, yeah, we'll just hold off on the interest and everything until next summer. So, yes, I didn't do certain things like that, but I didn't have anyone tip you guys saying, hey, keep this in mind. If I did, I would have listened to them. It wouldn't have been, yeah. Tom, you want to say?
Yeah, one thing I understand, when Carlos was selling in China, like, he lived over there, so he was selling everything he possibly could. Amazon is not robust as it is now. So I think, he grew up in an era where, just after books were being sold on Amazon, then we started selling like tennis balls and ping pong balls, so he was over there with all the generic stuff. And now we have kind of like all the eclectic stuff. Now it's not just the rocking chair, it's the rocking chair with the vibrating back to it, and remote control,
Yeah.
foot warmer, and,
when I called a brand, and said I wanted 10 pallets of wine aerators, they started asking me what my secrets were to get that much traffic to my retail store. Like they just assumed that I had a store, like they didn't know. They had no idea.
I'm gonna also make another comment too, like we not only have US sellers competing with us, but we have Chinese sellers competing with us too. There's a reason why the United States Patent and Attorney's trademark office is 11 months behind. Because the Chinese are asking for trademarks of every single possible letter combination there is. When you see somebody's story, you're like, how is there a 4 using an R in their name? It's because they're just, they know it's gonna pass, they don't care what the name is. They want that trademark, they want that brand registry, so you got those people competing with you. So from my perspective, if I'm starting this all over again, go to China, have a great time, see all kinds of really cool stuff. Why not start with that food? It's in your backyard. There's no shipping, there's no tariffs, there's no crazy stuff. This is a consumable. I'd start building right here with food. I just really would. That would be, if I could do it all over again, that's where it's not.
Yeah, and just, I mean, this isn't the PL Accelerator. This is what I would do if I was starting over right now. Is I would go the community route first. I would build, and that community doesn't have to be a meetup like this, but it would be the easiest lift is an email newsletter. I would use Kit, Creator Network, and SparkLoop to do that. There's zero reason, like whatever capital you were ready to dump into some random product to start, you can put that. There's no reason why you don't have thousands of people on your email list. You know.
So you can get into, let's say you're really into camping, you always have something to really like, so get into camping. So build a camping newsletter, a bunch of people like.
Tu eres tan bella, tú sabes. Sé que tú eres tan
And
bella.
then, now you have all those people, guess what you can sell to them? Camping food.
Yeah.
Food, or whatever that is, or, you know, you can grow your own based on your niche or your category.
Anybody like to buy my tea? I mean, I could. And maybe you guys have better luck with it. I'll give it to you for next to nothing.
But unfortunately, your tea is just one, that's just one keyword, it's gonna get killed. What about?
It's made for camping, that's another thing.
It's made for camping.
Camping, yes, this is unique. It's unique.
The emperors camped with it.
Hey, man, I'll give it to you for next to nothing, man.
Buy a tent, get tea.
What?
Get a tea with every tent.
What? I'm sorry.
Give a box of tea for every tent they buy. No, so.
Yeah, no, I
So-
mean,
Yeah, I would 100% go that route. You can run advertisements to your own product. You can run advertisements to affiliate stuff. You can run, in your email newsletter. It's going to be making you money quicker than the actual product would be. If you started the newsletter the way I'm saying at the same time, and by the way, this is something new. Like I've been saying this forever. The only reason it's starting to get people's attention is because of how much ads are costing on Amazon. So like this isn't a new thing. Like you're going to be making more money off the newsletter and getting the information you actually need to grow your brand before you probably even get agreed on a sample in China or wherever you're going. You run one real risk by doing it the way that I'm saying, and that is that in like 120 days or so, you might decide, why do I want to launch a physical product? Because I'm making money off this newsletter. Like that's the only risk you run in doing it. It doesn't cost a lot of money, anything. And if you can't do that, if you can't do the email list, you're gonna struggle with the product. So you know what? If you can't do the email list, stop it. And then don't sell the product. Don't trap yourself. Do a different product. But validate it that way. I used to validate it with trivia, quizzes, polls, and contests using Woobox. I used to use Paperly. I used to do it in a bunch of different ways, but I've always done that before doing the product. So if you're just starting off, I know you're listening, but if you're just starting off, just validate it first. There's a lot of ways you can validate this before doing it. And then when you sell something that has a subscription to it. The easiest one, the most affordable one is food. Don't make it more complicated on yourself. Okay?
If you want to launch a new tea for your campers, you have an email newsletter list of new coffee for your camper. You know, it's an easier way to launch than killing yourself on PPC. Right?
Yeah. You could give a
How
thing.
many pages do you have on your newsletter?
It's an email.
Email.
So let's not think about it as a paper like newsletter. It can be as long as you want and scroll down as you want. I just started this, how long did I start ago, Carlos, like 3 months ago?
Yeah, 3 months ago. I forget the person's name, but there was someone in the group that put up some big numbers on subscribers, and Tom didn't like it and said, I'm taking that title. Forget the guy's name. But the,
So we have 2 newsletters now, one's at 11,000 subs and the other one's at like 7,000 subs in like 4 months.
yeah, it's
Sounds like a subscription.
subscribers.
Newsletter, if somebody's my
Yeah.
subscriber to my newsletter, they're not paying for it, they're opening
Yeah,
up
he's-
my newsletter and create a system, so.
And you can branch out and sell other things, right? Yeah. but-
They tell you what they want.
You make more money than the product that I'm selling in the newsletter.
Yes. Yeah. Anybody else have any other questions that are PLMA related? Patrick, we didn't ask you, and you were there as well. What did you think about the show?
Best show I've been to. I wish I went to it last year, actually, you guys told me.
Yeah.
I love it. It's, I recommend it to anybody who's trying to learn something and get into something new. I like it a lot. And the group helped a lot. Carlos, if you go alone, you're gonna get lost. So once you go with someone who knows what they're doing, guys, it's amazing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, Carlos. Do you remember last year, I didn't go last year, but the feedback you brought back last year was, you see a many.
Hold on, can somebody pass Ting the mic? Steve's mentioning he can't hear somebody. And by the way, while you're talking, I just said real quick, Steve, who's on the stream, Steve went. If Steve could share what, he was there for different goals and stuff, but Steve's been a long time wizard from the group. He's living in Chicago now. And I don't know how he cycles in that cold weather, but he lives there and he went to the show so he could share some feedback too on what he thought. He went there to, I think more for the resale side to like close some stuff with some vendors, and he was able to do that. But go ahead, Ting.
I didn't go last year. I went 2 years ago, but last year feedback you and also Chris brought back. I remember a lot of groups of vendors, suppliers, actually they lined up, oh, we do full package in the shop. Like they do a full packer, they do
Yep.
just like a chain, like a chain. So do you see anything, something similar this year, like everyone doing the same thing?
Yeah, more and more people are, like what she's talking about is pre-COVID, it was very, like it was so rare that you found someone that did more than one of these things under the same roof. You had the supplier, and that's the one who's either like making, refining, or bringing in the ingredient, or they're harvesting it. Then you had the co-packer, who was the one that received your packaging, put it in packaging, mixed it, and the co-packer could do probably just dry goods or just liquid or just paste or just panning. And then you had your 3PLs, which we're kind of familiar with, and that's who could warehouse your goods and drip it in to FBA as needed, but the co-packer could also send that initial FBA shipment in. You got it, Mama? Something around COVID or after COVID, what happened is they started consolidating. And I started noticing you'd go talk to a supplier and the supplier would be immediately like, we could also package your goods. And more you're starting to see them come together. Like they offer more than one. They co-pack and distribute. Co-pack and 3PL, or they supplier and co-pack. And a few are just putting them all under the same roof. But even now when you talk to them, they're actually going to introduce you to somebody else that's going to have a different business name. They're under the same umbrella. Some of them are buying these other companies, and then it's one company. But I would just say, be in that scenario, get quotes. Like anytime somebody's quoting me on sea freight or something, and you're comparing a bunch of quotes, the first thing you want them to do is itemize how they reach that number. Because someone's charging me 500 and someone's charging me 5,000. Which one's better? You're gonna say 500, right? But what if the 5,000 is covering a whole bunch of other things that this 500 is not? Doesn't mean I'm not gonna have to pay it. I'm gonna have to pay it somewhere else, and it could be a lot more expensive. So we wanna make sure, now if they're both the same thing, then yeah, one's $4,500 cheaper. But with a supplier, they're gonna give you a quote that includes everything, that includes the warehousing, the co-packing, and the distributing. I would ask them to break that out, because you could throw a rock and hit a co-packer. Like you're not like stuck with them and need to go use them as a co-packer. So there's gonna be a co-packer near them. Just get them to quote you, ask them to break out the quote, then just go to Co-Packer USA, or is that, what's the acronym? CPA. And just, you put like a request for quotation in there, put your zip code, put the state that you want it in, be what the supplier is at, and you're just gonna get, you're gonna, like a day or two of nothing, like this doesn't work, and then you're gonna get spam for the rest of that email's life from people coming in saying, quoting you. And they're not, and some of them just ignore, like, yeah, we're not in the state you're looking for, but we have 50 years experience, and you're gonna get all the quotes you want. And then ask them, say, hey, this is where I'm at, this is the quote that I have, can you beat it? And if they can beat it, then go back to your supplier and be like, hey, this is the quote I have for somebody that's like 15 minutes down the road from you, and they'll pick up the goods for free. Match it or no. So you're gonna do some of that. Yeah, Ting, so there's more and more of that happening. As a matter of fact, I didn't see anyone this year that I spoke with that was just a supplier. Like, they supplier and they did something else. Like the people that I spoke with.
Lined up, and now we are, I haven't heard anything from you, freight forwarder.
From my freight forwarder? Who's my freight forwarder?
You sent,
Unicargo?
I think so, yeah,
I saw the email where he responded.
He did?
Yeah, I saw the email where he responded. He responded in like, I think it was like 48 hours. I don't know what conversations you've had since then, but yeah, he responded. He CC'd on it, and he also said, I'm gonna BCC Carlos so we don't blow up his inbox. Yeah, that was quite some time ago.
I have to pick up my daughter.
Cool, yeah. Right. Yeah.
We, so next step was something that, I think is the product image now. And I think we have to work on that. Product image, do you recommend we get it down here in the States, or you think we should still do AI generated, like that?
Product image?
The product.
Your product photography?
For, listing, first page, yeah.
I'd recommend Celine, local. She's still one of the best in pricing that I've seen. She knows what converts on Amazon. Okay, so I would use a 3D render for your main image. I would use Celine for your all-around photography shot. And then I would use those shots and mix them with AI just to give you a bunch of looks that you could play around with in your A+ content, that you can play around with your creatives on social. There's Pick Copilot that's really good, that you could use to generate a lot of cool stuff with those images, but I would use Celine to start, especially with the budget that I know you have.
Okay.
Yeah. You connected with her already, I believe?
Yeah.
If not, okay.
I'm using her right now, which is great, by the way.
Yeah, she's great.
Her name is Celine?
Yeah.
She's super patient.
She's super patient, right?
I have a big project coming to her also right now.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like one of the only people.
There would be ads. I'm using Adobe really well.
Cool.
Adobe is really good. DOBBY ads.
Yeah,
They're really good. I think you just get with the right people within Adobe.
Also, to consider, like, everyone knows Rafa and Share It Studios, but Rafa created another company that addresses like this specific area. So Share It Studios is more like higher end productions type stuff. Rafa has another one. I'm trying to remember the name, but I think I have it here. No, I can send it to you though. I know he matches Celine on price. So a bunch of options there, but you could totally do that.
Are you looking for a freight forwarder?
Huh?
We gotta have.
We have that.
Oh. We gotta do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, you know Celine face?
I know Celine, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you met her? Yeah.
I've been working with her about 3 years, 4 years.
Celine,
Wait until we finish our project with her, don't give her.
She's gonna get back, but
No, she does good. I probably send her 8 to 10 people a week.
yeah.
Yeah, and I've never heard anyone say,
For the rest of us that are waiting for.
I've never heard her say that she's too backlogged. I've never had somebody come back and say they have any complaints, and I can't say that about my own stuff.
I am very picky and
like-
she's so patient. I am very picky and she's so patient.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Selena Arts and Design? Is that the-
Selena de Silva?
Late.
Celine de Silva.
But you know, for the rest of us that are waiting on stuff, and you keep sending, he was just delaying us.
I don't know. But yeah, no, she's.
Making money on it.
No, I don't make a penny. I don't make a penny, actually. That would be, you know, since she gets no complaints, I should set something up with her. That would be just easy money, right? But no, I don't. If I did, I would tell you guys. If I did, I would tell you guys. But I don't. As a matter of fact, when I work on her for a project that's something in-house for us, I don't even get a discount. I don't ask either, but I don't get any of that. So, what else? I felt like you had another question there, Ting, and I wasn't hitting it.
Oh, wanted to ask, how are your products doing with the private label manufacturers association? How are they selling now? Have you gone?
They're going great.
Anybody going through the whole process
Yeah,
yet?
yeah.
And you're selling, and how's it going? with your
I've
products?
sold and exited.
And you sold it what?
And exited a brand from PLMA.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did well with it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And the supplier is, they're good suppliers, and they have no problem with the supply, and that's always the problem, right? The good supply, you know, it's getting, when you start a supplier,
No.
just trying to keep it
Well,
going.
nothing but the most authentic of tea suppliers go to this one.
That's all I
If you're not buying your tea from PLMA, it's something's up.
100,000,
Yeah. But Ting, I felt like there was another question there. Did I miss it?
oh, I don't,
I believe we have 3. Can you look up, Moises, how many more meetings we have left for this year?
2 more.
Is it 2?
Yes, so we make sure.
Remember, next Saturday we don't have.
Then we have December 6th, December 13th, and then we'll have the rest.
Yeah, no, we have 2 more.
The 2 more.
December 6th and December 13th.
The 20th and the 27th.
And then we're off for 3 weeks. It's usually, I gotta look, but it's usually the last 2 weeks of December and the first week of January. Yeah,
Yes, correct.
yeah. Yep.
oh, get it rolling, yeah.
Any other questions? No? You guys are good?
I need PPC, well, I mean, if I'm not doing it right, maybe I need some PPC. I mean, you're doing.
Just hit me up. As long as it's not the tea.
I'm gonna bring some in and show you, you'll love it, I mean,
I'm scared.
you always say, hey,
You've been suspended on it in 9 countries. Nobody wants to buy it.
oh,
And the last known person is a dead emperor from 2,000 years ago.
I'll tell you.
All right. Bueno, guys.
That tea was really popular like 15, 20 years, maybe 20, maybe 25,000.
All right, guys. Yep. Can you get the mic closer to you so they can hear the question?
Just add one more thing. I don't know if anyone does any prep services with Amazon, but they're discontinuing that January 1st.
Yeah, January 1st, no more prep services for Amazon.
No more prep services? What is?
Right, so you can't send your FBA stuff in for Amazon without like that big label or package.
Well, it has to be labeled.
Yeah, now they won't do it. Yeah, so either get a 3PL or something, or do it yourself. So we always have done our own. But, so I've never used that service, but I never seen that.
Yeah. I guess another announcement I was talking about, if you guys gave me feedback, I'd do it. I got a lot of good feedback from you guys on it, so it looks like in January we'll have our first There'll be a meetup on, I don't know the frequency, it's gonna depend on how many people attend and how active they are. I'll be the one hosting it, teaching it. We're gonna do an email newsletter. We'll have an email newsletter meetup. So let's see how that goes. It doesn't make sense to announce it now, but I mean to do one with the remaining of this year, as chaotic as the end of the year is, but I'll be doing one starting in January. I don't know if it's gonna be a once a month. At the most, it'll be twice a month. I can't imagine doing a weekly email newsletter meetup, but at least once a month. So I'm excited for that. And
For Amazon trademarks, does it have to be registered or just applied for when starting out?
so what you're talking about on Amazon is having brand registry. And for brand registry, you have to have applied for your trademark. Yeah. But if you want to use something on Amazon called the transparency program, that you can't get access to the transparency program until the trademark's fully registered. So. Transparency program is just for a couple cents more. You can put a QR code that's authenticity of your product. It was designed because Amazon made and failed on a push to go into luxury goods on Amazon, like luxury bags and stuff. And go figure, a lot of these companies don't want to send $5,000 purses to FBA. And that way, when you received the product, you could scan the QR code, and it kind of gives you a chain of custody of this product, proving its authenticity all the way to the factory. But what a lot of brands will do now is, especially brands that sell their goods on other platforms, they don't want arbitrage sellers to go out there and get those products and then resell them and compete with them on Amazon. So what they'll do is they'll only put the QR codes on the products that they send to Amazon and not the other ones. So it's abusing the program, but if you're dealing with counterfeiters or stuff, you probably want the transparency program, and you just can't have that. It's through brand registry, but you can't access it until you're fully registered. Right. Yeah, you have to be fully trademarked. What, it's unfair on Walmart? You know, as an Amazon seller, or as a seller, I'm going to call us Amazon sellers that also sell on Walmart, 'cause I don't think anyone here says they're a Walmart seller that also sells on Amazon. So as Amazon sellers, like, we need to be able to file, get access to brand registry, take advantage and start selling because of how quickly we can go from inspirational webinar or meetup to ordering something and having it in Amazon. But for most businesses around the world, they won't get the product until they have a fully registered trademark. So like, the process is so much longer. Here, we're like, oh my God, so-and-so who I follow just put a webinar out on I should sell in Japan. And actually there's this company that I can just send my goods to right now, and I can be up in Japan in a month and a half. So we do it, but we don't have a trademark in Japan. So through brand registry, we could just get it up there and protect it. But another business that wasn't doing this, like, they can't afford to move to another country unless they protect their IP. So they need to get it fully registered. Once we're fully registered, okay, let's make our plans. So in a sense, we're very nimble, or a lot more nimble than non-Amazon companies. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap up with that. Remember, we do not have a meetup next Saturday. Recapping, highly, highly, highly recommend you attend the next PLMA. In the meantime, be on the lookout for the posts that I'll put in Discord having to do with the scanned catalog is available in the WOE app, so that you can go into ChatGPT and make use of it. For those of you that are in the PL Accelerator that I host, we spend like an entire session showing you how to do that. So Berto, you'll see how to do all that in real time. Right, so you can get the scanned copy of, it's a big catalog, as you can see.
Oh, the PLMA.
Right, but we scan it and we make it a nice high recognition, or is it OCR, to where you can upload it as a PDF into ChatGPT and then have ChatGPT scan it and give you all the answers you need. So it's a lot easier to use that way. I was saying that we'll make that available, and to show you how to leverage it and all that, for those of you that are in the PL Accelerator, we spend an entire session going over it in depth. There is 2 seats left for anybody that wants to join, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. All right, thank you.
Is there YouTube today?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is there one?
Yep.
Oh, is there one announced on Meetup? Oh, you're gonna do one? So nobody's coming?
Well, the group that came last time, they're coming.
Oh.
People from here is coming. Los Gallegos is coming.
Cool. Let me. Okay, how do I do this?